Hey everyone, welcome to part one of the rebuild of our 2001 Coleman Fleetwood Cheyenne pop-up camper. This one we're going to be going over replacing the flooring all the way down from the subfloor to the new flooring, which we put some LVP, but it's going to be a multi-video process, and it's already 3-4 weeks in the making now, so hope you learned something. Hope this helps you out in your rebuild, or nothing else entertains. If you want to follow along, go ahead and subscribe, and hopefully you can keep up with all the videos that we're doing. Thanks a lot. All right, so I forgot to get pictures of this before the process, but here's you can see the storage box where it was all messed up, and here's some more pictures of the inside. You can see Coleman's lovely idea of interior design that is not too great. It was for some reason one of the previous owners cut a hole through the window and the screen you can see there and covered it up with white duct tape. But that's on the list of things to fix, and hopefully we can have video on that part too. Here you can see the inside. See those cabinet doors are just completely rotted out from the water damage in the front storage box. This end doesn't look too bad. These curtains were just god-awful yellow and full of holes. Those are about to get reupholstered. We're going to make some new curtains and reupholster all the furniture. Here's a better picture I took of the hole in the screen. And here's the storage box once we took it off. That's another video, though, of that rebuild. Here's another picture of the galley that had to be redone. And here's some of the massive amounts of rot and water damage that plagued this trailer. You can see it was getting everywhere. There's more of the back end when I pulled that back cover off. Here's some of the cracks after I peeled all the caulking off. And later on you can see the progress I made on that back panel after I fiberglassed it and bondoed the front and repainted it. All right, here's the back corner. And it is... That's outside. I'll have to come out. Bunch of water damage here. Turn to paper. There's a little more behind that. This is gonna be fun. Here's the floor back here. It is gone. Hopefully I don't have to get too much. I can just go up to this little runner on the frame. See what it looks like when I peel all this back. You can see here's the former floorboard of it. And here's the new piece going in. Do a lot of stuff to this. There's the linoleum that was down there. There's the back cover that I've had to re-fiberglass so I can bond to the front. It's a new piece of floorboard going in that I've flex sealed the outer corners. Here she is. Now, pretty good, I guess, bones. But there's a lot of water damage that I've got to redo. Pretty good project it had to be. Alright, so if this is something you're trying to do on your own, I went under the bottom and drilled some holes on the back side of the cross member of the frame so I can have an idea where it's at. And then I cut some little holes, measure about halfway where the frame is on both sides, and then ran a chalk line right down the middle so I know exactly where the middle of the frame is. Cut there, that way you got support on both sides. I kind of overcut on the other side and didn't have support, so I had to scab in some piece of angle iron and square tubing to brace up the section of the subfloor. So just make sure you set your saw high up enough to where you're not too low and cutting into the frame, and just follow the chalk line. And there we have a pretty much straight line. A little crooked there, but it's all right. It's gonna get filled in with liquid nails and I butt up the other piece against here. Now what I did is I set the saw high enough to where it wasn't gonna cut into the frame. So what I'm gonna do now is get my trusty little oscillating tool here and cut the rest down to the frame. That way it comes out nice and easy. All right, so real quick, if you're gonna replace this flooring, sorry, the light came off. Cut it in two pieces. Makes it a whole lot easier. Just make sure you cut it on the frame. The lights are low, but it's about 15 inches from the edge on this Coleman Fleetwood. So it's gonna be just about impossible to do it without cutting it into two pieces, just because I think they put them together. They put the floor on before they put everything else, so unless you want to take this whole thing apart, cut it in two pieces. Okay, so earlier I was talking about making sure you cut it into two pieces. So this is where you want to right there. There's the frame. Now you got all kinds of support. And just screw it down, liquid nails, and you're good to go. Now, we'll be back with some more, because we got a whole lot of work to do. Someone cut a hole out for some stupid reason, but alright, here's the back panel that I rebuilt. Put these 2x4s in here to gotta screw that in, but support this back bench back here. There was nothing, it was just screwed in its 1/4-inch paneling before, and needed something to support it a little more. Just braced it up. There it is. I gotta try and remember how this all goes back together. See if I have any success. I think I'm gonna vacuum that. Probably should. Probably some expanding foam that I put down here. The pests out. Cut that off. Now I'll hit the vacuum again. So I won't bore you with the linoleum tiles because there's probably 1,000 videos on the internet that can teach you a whole lot better than I could. So. Measure that one first. Part like this. What I'll do is take a speed square, mark it on each side of each cut. There. Scissors. Milwaukee ones there from Home Depot for like 15 bucks. And test fit it before you put it on there. There's a little bit extra cut. That's alright. No one's really gonna see that. Here's one of those spots I was telling you about where it's a little lower. It's hard to see, but there's a little gap there. Paper, pain in the butt. Oh, I did it again. Forgot to measure. Set that one aside just a little bit. deep. You have to clean these scissors every once in a while because they start getting buildup from the adhesive. Perfect. Alright, so I know some of you are going to watch that previous clip and drag me for the way I was cutting that tile, but I was using the scissors earlier the correct way. Utility knife. Score it. Cut out of a section of this, so to cut all the way through in this one part. After you scored it, snaps like that. You go around the back, cut the paper, and voila. Sorry. That's what it's gonna end up looking like in there. She had a really good idea. Finished up the floors, and I kind of might have done this a little backwards with the direction of the tile you're supposed to lay it out in. And if you look on the back, there's these handy little arrows. I can't see them on this piece, but I probably should look at that first. Here, I'm running into a little bit of a problem, so I'm gonna have to remove the cover for the converter. Showing you guys how to do this stuff really, but like I said before, there's a million other videos on YouTube that you gotta do this a whole lot better than I can. So probably not doing it right. At least not the correct way. Just the way I remember doing this for my laminate flooring. Of course that covers the view. Line them up here. Oh, crap. This little rubber cap keeps getting in the way.
And I'm pulling this front end. This back end.
Alright, so handy little trick I picked up is a little trim, the core round that you're going to put around your edge. Keep a little piece with you while you're installing. Make sure that your gaps are going to get covered. If you're going to do baseboard and get fancy, I'm just going to do quarter round. I've already spent way too much money on this flooring than I planned on. So everything looks good. Just going to cover on both sides. Another little thing, little installation tools, $10 at Harbor Freight. Home Depot has it for like 30. This one even comes with a handful of little spacers, so save yourself a couple bucks. 20 to be exact. I'm gonna cut the rest of these pieces. Almost done here. Just got that left. All right, so another quick little tip. So when I put that, cheaper stick-on linoleums in here, everything didn't quite line up the way I'd planned with the this little seat box over here. So ended up with little pieces sticking out. So to avoid your level getting off, what I did was I lost my knife for one. But cut my knife, ran it down along the edge, and then just use a putty knife and peel it up. There it is. Some of these you got to cut a little more. You're not getting the right pressure on it. Oh, here it is. And there's gonna be some touch-up painting involved here. Oh, peeled up the cover over here. I'm worried about this so much, it's probably not gonna come close to that gap, but it's close enough. All right, just want to give you guys that little tip there. Might help some of you. All right, so just put the last piece of flooring in. There it is. And if any of you are wondering, got this flooring at Costco, actually. Here it is right there. Bohawk Home, rigid vinyl flooring, reverse edge oak. It's the color. It's like 43 bucks a box right now. I know I saw it on sale for like 35 one time I went in there. Here is that flooring kit. This will focus. Floor installation kit. Harbor Freight, 10 bucks. Came with these spacers here. But yeah, this is a '01 Coleman Fleetwood Cheyenne. Pretty much everything's stock. The only thing I did take out was the cabinet that was right there, which is sitting right there. There's the side of it. We took that out because we might put something in later. Still got to paint it, but we're thinking of put our little cassette toilet there with a little cover over it just to store it and keep it out of the way, and it can be used there, flip it up or something. I don't know, I'll come up with something. But use 2 boxes and a couple extra pieces of this stuff. Each one has 7 planks. So just count on getting 3 boxes if this is your model. This is all my waste here. That piece was my last piece. I just messed it up, so I cut the wrong side of it when trimming it. But it was actually row to row. I really didn't have to cut anything off end to end. It was just the just a little tab right here. That's all I had to cut off because it was actually 7.5 inches left with my 1/4 inch gap down there. So looks really good, especially with the colors my wife picked out. So back to work. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it's pretty windy. We have the side panels off. Taking care of that big old hole that was in the side. So what I'm getting ready to do right now is finish up the second to last piece to the flooring, which is okay, so here it is. Which is the trim. It's 1/4 round. So what I did was I painted them first. Oh, I cut them first actually, but then I painted them and then I numbered them. Starting with the doors. Number 1 and then 2. And then just worked my way all the way around. 18. It took about 40 feet of 1/4 round, and that right there was the pain in the butt. So once that's all together, it'll look nicer. But I'm getting ready to nail it down right now. Just be sure that if you put this type of flooring down, a floating floor, to nail your 1/4 round to the actual furniture, not the floor, so it can move back and forth. All right, here it is. if you are like me and not a professional trim carpenter, you more than likely have gaps like that. And nothing a little caulk, a little white silicone caulk won't fix. And a little trick I learned is when your corners overlap like that, just take a round end of a screwdriver and kind of smush it down a little bit. And no one's gonna get that close to your trim anyway. If they are, they're weirdos. You don't need to be friends with them anyway. There it is, flooring. Now I just gotta do the part I hate the most, which is fill in all those tiny nail holes, spackle, and caulk it. Looks pretty good though. Next is fixing these panels and reupholstering these ugly cushions. Alright, so one summer I worked for a guy painting houses, and I'm not going to say I'm the best, because I know I'm not, or anywhere close to it, but since I can't find any spackle, I don't know where I put it. You can use some white silicone caulk as a substitute. Just squeeze a little bit out at a time. And you push in all those gaps, and always make sure you have a rag and some water to clean up the excess. You fill in those gaps. Yeah, see, that's why you need the towel and water. So I'm gonna put this down because I can't do it with one hand. Alright, so like before, keep your rag and your wet towel ready for an emergency. And now what I do, get that out of the way, see, and everyone tells you how to do it different, but this is the way I learned, is gloves just makes it a little less messy. Keep your finger over the tip of it. You got your 45 cut there, and you're gonna make sure your fingertip is wet and squeeze. Oh, a little too much. Supposed to do is keep it all contained, but once again, rag to the rescue. And it helps to have a couple of rags, because that first one leaves a little bit in the grooves, especially if you got textured flooring like this. This was a big gap here, so it's gonna get messy. You guys might be better off finding someone that knows how to do this better than I do. And then, as always, you mess up too bad, you can always just paint over it. Just make sure you get caulk that's paintable. Is this one? Yeah. Now, no matter what type of flooring you're putting down, just remember to do your caulking, because it's a super important step and it's vital from keeping water from getting under your cabinets. If someone were to spill something, or if you were to have a water leak, it would keep water from going in there. Obviously right here there's a little gap, so you know, you'd be kind of screwed, but I'm going to caulk this little gap here and probably caulk on the inside just to keep any water, especially around the sink, if it does leak down, it contains it there and not get under this flooring here. So just remember, whether you're putting quarter round or just putting the cabinets straight on the floor, put flooring up to the cabinets, run a bead of caulk and help keep that water out, because you don't want to have to rebuild these. It's a pain in the butt. This little corner over here. Paint over it. Start working in the dark. Well, there it is, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully it helps you out some. If you would, subscribe, and hopefully you can see the rest of our journey on this build. Thanks a lot.